So, we're pretty sick of 2012 at this point. We looked at 2 games from there, and they were both pretty bad. We're jumping back a whole decade to 2002.
Yeah.
Let's see what Incognito Entertainment was up to back then.
It's just... Oh dear, that feels like much older than 2002. Okay, I realize it's by theme as well, but I mean...
Yeah, they're going for a 1950s sci-fi theme.
Yeah, but the CGI looks like late 90s at best.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a bit of, like with the spinning logo there, all I could think of was the original Fallout.
Yeah, I'm thinking of that. I was actually thinking of Baldur's Gate, so same wheelhouse.
Yeah, same era.
One of my favorite things about this game is the storyline, which we're checking out right now.
I was thinking, is this some XCOM?
The aliens were filled with Mountain Dew. What were the odds?
Well, yeah, their blood is poisonous usually.
And now there's monsters. Completely unrelated to the aliens. To me, it feels like this is like the 3rd game in the trilogy where things have gone completely off the rails, but there were no 2 previous games. It's just off the rails right at the beginning.
Well...
That's War of the Monsters.
I kind of feel like I should be quoting MST3K mercilessly throughout this.
Yeah, you probably should.
No, that's my shiitake.
He is filled with turtle meat. So this was going to be my follow-up to the Twisted Metal Black Let's Play. Just like it was the follow-up to Twisted Metal Black for Incognito. But then I played it, and now we're going to see why I did not choose to LP this game.
It's all fun and games until someone actually plays the damn thing.
I was about to apologize for getting you to LP TM12, but it feels like I don't have to.
Well, I mean, this will make a interesting comparison point.
I imagine the word interesting is surrounded by big quote marks.
It's doing some heavy lifting, yes.
Yeah. I have no experience with this series before this. I've never seen any gameplay. Before you mentioned it in the earlier threads, I had never even heard of it at all. So, I mean, I'm going in blind. So are the graphic designers.
I knew of it at the time, and it had a decent enough reputation as a sort of dumb but fun brawler. Never played it myself, though.
Yep. Well, we selected our character to be called Agamo, but he's Sweet Tooth. Look at that. If you have a completed save of Twisted Metal Black on your memory card, you get to play as Sweet Tooth. Exciting stuff.
Kind of reminds me a bit of Hulk Ultimate Destruction as well. Which is weird because that didn't come out for several years later.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of games that this blends in with. There was a Godzilla game, or 2 or 3 maybe even, on the PS2. And I completely mixed them up with this game. I had no idea that this was an Incognito game.
Yeah, I remember there was one that came out on basically everything at the time.
Yeah, GameCube, Xbox. There were a bunch of these giant monster games on the PS2 era, and this one just kind of blended in and got forgotten about.
Kind of a forgotten genre, along with card combat in general.
That's for sure.
Yeah, a lot of genres disappeared around this age. Until the Fire Axis XCOM, the tactical shooter, really. I mean, the late 90s had a bunch of them.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was real the golden. Same with isometric role-playing games. It pretty much died with Neverwinter Nights.
I think the problem was that they were mostly relegated to PC, and the market was definitely shifting in favour of consoles at the time.
relegated to PC.
You know what I mean. You shut up and stop being contrary.
Yeah, this was a big shooter era.
Yeah. Shooter and third-person platformer, which also has died now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, thank God. I mean, yeah.
But shooters are never gonna die.
Much as we may wish otherwise.
Yeah.
Yep. At least they're making a resurgence in the fun form of Doom games.
Oh, yeah.
They're not all military shooters anymore.
Yeah, remember colors? Those were nice.
That's one thing that this game has going for it. Lots and lots of colors.
Wait, is this meant to be Las Vegas, the strip?
Yep.
Because it's not a strip.
Yeah, they took a lot of liberties, but, you know, you can see
I
the
mean,
inspiration.
Las Vegas is famous for, the casino strip, which is, a strip. It's kind of in the name.
They made it more of an airstrip.
Instead, replace it with Not Planet Hollywood.
They should have gone with Planet Bollywood and just made that.
I don't know. I don't think this game could really handle a 20-minute dance routine. I'd be willing to see it.
I want to see a tractor race, a tractor fight.
Everyone wants to see a tractor fight.
I hope you know which scene I reference.
Is it sad that, thanks to an ex of mine, I know at least 3?
I'm thinking of the one where a bunch of tractors are in the middle, surrounds a guy in the middle of a mud field, and he do a runway jump with his own tractor over them, and yeah, it's weird. It's Bollywood, but it's extra Bollywood weird. My wife is a Bollywood fan.
I went out with a girl who was very, very upset with me that I didn't enjoy Bollywood.
I enjoy one movie in particular, Bride and Prejudice, or is it Pride and Prejudice? The one that's it's a Jane Austen thing, but it's not
Bride
the
and
correct name.
Prejudice.
Yeah, but it's not the correct name.
Yeah, no, it was Bride with a B.
Yeah, with Ashawira Rai.
Could not tell you who was in it. I just remember the name.
Yeah, she's famous because she had been a Miss World winner earlier. Well, she's a good actress, but yeah, that was the big draw of it, and it was mostly made in England. Funny enough.
Yep. That's probably one of the main reasons why I know it.
Yeah.
Well, I expected to talk movies in this video because of the topic. I did not expect to talk Bollywood.
Yeah, and
Guys
to make
are full of surprises.
make a better slide, then one of the sisters in that movie is played by an actress who plays Betty in Sin City. The prostitute who is followed by the corrupt cop.
It's been a long time since I saw that. I think one of my friends still has my copy of it.
Wow, copy of a movie.
Hey, I don't legally acquire everything.
I rarely download stuff nowadays. I've been watching Buffy and Angel recently, but there's nothing I can... there's no streaming site I can use for them, so... I want to pay for it, but they don't let me. Bastards.
See, I was considering getting the Blu-ray upscales until I found out what had happened to them, and was like, nah.
Wait, what happened to the upscale?
They completely fucked up the... Basically, it's not a proper upscale. It's basically just like a really cheap quality. They expanded the picture rather than doing a proper upscale. The colors are off. Large chunks of the screen are cut off in some episodes. It's a total shit show.
Yeah, it's probably because they didn't actually record it in proper widescreen until the 3rd season.
No, they absolutely didn't.
Yeah, I'm showing the show for my wife, Buffy, to my wife for the first time, and we're in the 1st season, and wow, that show and the design decisions in the 1st season.
It is the most 90s show ever.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, they make a big deal out of, oh yeah, we're going high tech, we're getting pagers.
I just remember that line, congratulations, you finally joined the 20th century. 2 years to spare.
Yeah, I must give them... it's a good design, though, because, I mean, the show goes on well into... I mean, I had a cell phone in the late 90s, and... I mean, it's a good choice to not give everyone cell phones. Because that kind of show suffers from it. It's only in this last season of Buffy people get cell phones in general. And in Angel, they solve it by Angel being so old he can't get used to having a cell phone in his pockets. They forget it all the time.
They talk about me in the chatty rooms? Well, it's one of the old things, like cell phones ruin horror.
Yeah.
Because, what you have to contrive some way for everyone not to be able to get in contact with the outside world.
Yeah, like Angel. He gets stuck in a meat locker, and why didn't you use the cell phone? Oh. he did have coverage and everything. It's just that, I mean, it's new-ish.
Wouldn't have done him much good at the bottom of the ocean, though.
They do have continuous coverage. Angel uses cell phones more, and they have continuous coverage of in the sewers. So I wouldn't count it out completely.
Yeah, true.
I must say that when I was younger, I thought Angel was a superior show. I was stupid when I was younger. Really stupid.
More consistent show, I would say.
Season 4.
Loved it.
Jasmine storyline.
More than that season of Buffy.
You holy! I'm on that one right now, and holy crap! I'm gonna continue watching because I want to see what's coming. And I know what's coming. I know it gets better in season 5.
Oh no, season 5 was the one where it went downhill for me. There were some great moments in it, but the lack of a budget and the number of bottle episodes completely killed it. That and the fact they were told mid-season, by the way, we're not renewing you, whereas they assumed they were getting renewed for season 6. So the second half is basically them trying to go, oh shit, what do we do now?
Yeah, I haven't. It's been many years since I watched season 5. As I mentioned, I'm in season 4 right now, so I can't actually. I do know that there's some episodes there I really loved in season 5. But
oh yeah, absolutely.
Reminder of season 4, Connor.
Okay. Reminder of season 4, the episode where Jasmine completely takes over the city and Fred's the only one who doesn't, or who isn't affected by her. Pretty much most of the back half of the front half rather, with the Beast, which is fucking awesome, one of the best TV monster designs ever, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I would agree. The first half is better than second half. Not a high ceiling, but so many of the characters. Partly, Connor gets a huge role, and then what they do with Cordelia, and yeah.
Oh yeah, with Connor, they did not know what to do with him, and it gets really creepy.
Oh, but yeah, I wasn't even, when I mentioned Cordelia, I wasn't even considering that entire thing. It's just that, yeah, the whole killing of Cordelia at the end of season 3, because that's what they did. That was stupid. That was a stupid decision.
Yeah, and then she gets the Karen-like haircut, which was a bad idea.
Yeah, that's not my problem. My problem was that they killed her off, because she was the most interesting character of the show together with Fred. Because Angel is not interesting in comparison. So,
and on episode 8 of the Buffy and Angel podcast with games, we'll be talking about season 5.
Oh yeah, this boss, it's robot versus rock. You pick up that big rock, you hurl it at the robot over and over again, you win.
Literally between a rock and a hard place.
If you don't do that, he spins like a top for like 10 straight minutes and kills you. The boss fights are the worst part of this game. So, yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, I'm
throw a rock at it.
Surprised that they went for actual boss fights rather than just, making it a fighting game style.
Yeah, I mean, it's the adventure mode. They gotta put some, semblance of a story in there.
Do they, though?
We gotta make at least some effort.
Do they really have to put in story?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a story. It's just go around the world and fight monsters. That's the story.
I think the biggest bullshit is the fact that no matter what, you're getting targeted by little AA cannons everywhere. So, no matter what you do, you're pretty much constantly taking damage.
Yep. I mean, that's just the front of the stage. If you go towards the back, they won't be able to hit you. But you gotta go up to the front of the stage sometimes. Sometimes your rock goes up there.
Sometimes you just gotta fetch your rock.
But yeah, literally this whole fight is just the rock.
So it's like 90s WWF all over again. Nothing but the rock. I'm sorry, I'll try better. I'll try harder. No, I won't.
Hey, you managed one of like the 2 wrestling references I actually know about.
That's a 50% success rate. That's better than I've ever done in my life.
I feel for your partner.
Most people do.
50% of the time.
50% of the time, they feel for 100% of the time.
So as you both know, I had to re-record this video. The first time I recorded this fight, I game overed. This guy killed me 3 times in a row before I killed him. So if you let him do that spinning attack, he just does it over and over again and can't be stopped.
I'm curious, the actor names on the bottom of the poster, is it the designers of the game or just...
I've never heard of any of those names before, and I didn't notice any of them in the credits, but maybe someone can cross-reference them better than I did.
Honestly,
Yeah.
if they're not Troy McClure, I just don't want to know.
I mean, they could at least put in references. That's something this company should be able to do, I think.
Yep, there's a shitload of references in this game. Obviously, there's King Kong. Mecha King Kong, even.
Wild Moose Club.
Praetor is a reference to numerous 50s movies. I forget the name of the big one that MST3K did, but...
Did you get anything from killing civilians?
Nope, you actually can't kill civilians. You can just walk all over them. They just keep running around.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, I saw flattened civilians. Maybe they just get up again. I thought I saw flattened civilians before, at least. When you started the fight.
I'll pay more attention, but they don't seem to be too dead.
So, you seen that Bugman? Seen that Bugman? What's called Praetor?
You dropped out there.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Yeah, that's reference to that podcast. Long-term viewers of anything that me and Finley have been in will recognize it. It shows up in every time we do one of these things, trust me.
Whole strategy here is to kill Mecha Godzilla, Mecha King Kong, then go for the Mantis.
I first thought you said Mecha Gandhi, and that would be an awesome boss.
Armed with nothing but nuclear weapons. That'd be fantastic.
Yep. That was what happened to Clone High. Their Gandhi character caused an outrage. Got the show cancelled. Praetor is my favorite character to play as, but she's terrible to fight. Because she can fly. She'll just fly away from you.
Bugs have really weak exoskeletons in games like this, even though they're like, in real life, they're ridiculously well armored, comparatively speaking.
Not compared to most robots.
Not to mention the strength.
Now, the character we're playing as is not actually a robot, that's just the skin that I'm using. He's actually like a Moai head that has been given life. But yeah, that fight can drag on for like 10 times as long as you just saw. The AI is programmed to run away from you as soon as they get on red health and go collect as much health pickups as they can.
So basically the opposite of Twisted Metal.
I mean, Twisted Metal has done games like that, and they're really, really irritating.
Yeah. When did this turn into Monster Hunter?
Gotta have some dragons. Why not?
It would be a pretty missed open goal otherwise.
Imagine that. Single track failing with a game. Never would have imagined. So is this like two of the same enemy on this map?
Yes, they are identical, and they are just wearing different skins. And those ants we fought before the robot boss fight, those were different skins of Praetor. And we're back. We were just talking about character skins. Trust me, I went back and listened to the audio. We had a technical issue.
No, we didn't. This is a seamless product we're all very proud of.
Indeed.
We never make mistakes.
In this episode, Rutkowski is played by Microsoft Sam.
How are you, gentlemen? All your base are big. No, that's it's an older one, but it checked it.
Do Windows still have Microsoft Sam?
Yeah, but it's more lifelike. Like, pretty much every video on YouTube that's just posts from Reddit uses some version of it.
I have not seen a single one in my entire life, and I'm pretty okay with that, so I wouldn't know.
I envy you in ways you can only imagine.
I got my own trash. Trust me.
It's terrible, but I'm proud of it.
Is this meant to be on Ellis Island, or... Because...
Yeah, I don't know what this one is.
No, it's not...
All I can think of is that this is like Monster Hunter as hell, and you're getting chased by a couple of Rathaloses. I don't even play Monster Hunter.
I just noticed it was a huge airfield, but there was a bunch of people running on there.
Yeah, I guess there are over there.
Look, there's a bunch of people. Yeah, I mean... Well, shouldn't it be more like planes or machines, or... Why people, if there's no point of the people?
It's probably just a military airbase that was having bring your daughter to work day or something. You know what the 50s were like.
And, like, those cars, why would you need to use a car? How do you get there with a car?
That's a fairly good point.
They drove there.
From where?
They drove to this island?
Yes.
There's no bridges, there's no ferry point either.
Next question. Yeah, but it's aircraft carriers. Or cargo craft, I should say. One just went past.
Yeah, also, do you take damage from getting hit by a flying plane? You need to go back and test this.
People demand answers.
Ballsy though of the game designers to actually dare, considering the time, to have airplanes as an object in a big city. I mean, you all remember the cleanup they made in the movies, shows and games post 9/11.
Oh,
and, yeah, and this is only the next year. So I would expect them.
Yeah, I mean, this game was actually released in 2003.
Oh, okay.
Regardless, point stands.
Weird. I thought it came out earlier myself. I could have sworn this was like 2000.
Well, that's way off. No, January 14th, 2003. But yeah, that 9/11 was one of the big reasons that Twisted Metal Black was so heavily censored in the UK. And because of that censorship of Twisted Metal Black, the skin that we're seeing is not available in the UK version of War with the Monsters in the PAL release of this game.
I thought that might be the case.
So, take that.
Ooh, supercharge.
Oh yeah, we have infinite energy while we're standing on that thing. Even to this day, if you bought this game on PS4, which it is available for, you would not be able to play as the skin we're using right now. Instead, you would get a 7-minute making of featurette that's up on YouTube anyway.
Don't remind me. I went and checked before, because I was considering buying it when it came out in the PS2 Classics. I was like, oh, okay, maybe we'll actually get the proper no proper version of Twisted Metal Black for Hero.
Never ever.
No, what yours can't have.
It's for pirates only. This level is just about destroying the generators. The Kinetoclopses die. Probably a 3 Mile Island reference.
I'll say the way that the way that the concrete comes off the towers is actually pretty good, especially for the time.
Yeah, it's like layers of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say the destruction in general is quite good.
So give them kudos for that.
Yeah, and some rebar even.
I think that's the last one they just interrupted my destroying of.
Once again, we're on an island with no ferries, no bridges, but a bunch of cars that's actually driving around.
Yep.
Cargo planes.
There's no airfield this time.
It's all a simulation. Planned it all.
Oh, it's the Truman Show.
Westworld. Oh crap, it's Audrey 3.
That clips into itself.
Yep, this is the worst boss fight I've ever played in a video game, except for in DMC. The fetus boss fight is the only thing worse than this that I've ever seen.
Oh, I know what I know one. Shadows of the Empire, the final land map boss, the sewer boss.
That's low-hanging fruit, because Shadows of the Empire is basically unplayable.
No, not the final space battle or Battle of Hoth. I may have the Swedish record for Battle of Hoth time trial, but so I may be a bit biased. But
that's a very narrow superlative, but I'm going to allow it.
Yes, but I was really good at that one. It's like I could literally do it blindfolded on the hardest difficulty, because my brothers didn't believe me, so I had to do it when they watched.
Why are you not on Swedish Games Done Quick?
Because people use... Well, first of all, Swedish Games Done Quick.
Is that what SGDQ stands for?
No.
Probably. And everyone watching it is trying desperately not to make any Muppets references. Just in case they start an international incident. It's like not a war, just Sweden's really, really disappointed in you. The whole country, you personally.
That's our natural state towards everyone. The only the only people we actually know are disgusted against are the Danes, because they're the Danes. It's natural to be disgusted towards the Danes. They're nothing but a land bridge between Sweden and Germany.
Casual racism.
Fun fact: Sweden and Denmark are the two countries with the most number of wars between them in the entire world.
Oh, is it one of those things where it's like there's some island where one country goes and steals the other's flag and leaves a bottle of scotch?
It's more that between like the 11th century and what would it be, the 19th century, we were pretty much constantly at war. Or at least had 4 or 5 wars every 100 years in between. I mean real people. I mean, once Sweden walked over the ice to conquer the Danish capital. So yeah, they risked the entire army just walking over the ice.
If it weren't for the fact that that's an actual aggressive act, I would say that is the most non-Canadian thing I've ever heard.
Actually, it's not it was a defense act. Denmark declared war. They were mad that Sweden had taken the south parts of Denmark. And now Sweden is paying for it because now we have to suffer the indignity that is Scania or southern Sweden. We don't want it, Denmark don't want it, but it's still there.
Wow, it sounds like my 11th birthday all over again.
Yeah.
I'm not taking him. Well, I'm not taking him.
All borders are drawn in blood. This boss fight is dragging on forever, and you can't make it go faster, you can only make it go slower by getting eaten, like I just did.
Yeah, it feels like a common occurrence, slow battle. The other boss battle also was very drawn out.
Yeah, that one had a lot of health, but you could stun lock it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna say this one's not as bad as the other one, simply because like there's more stuff to do rather than throw rock, grab rock, get hit.
All I can do is throw a rock and grab a rock, though.
Yeah, but there's jumping. That's more than the last one.
You have to wait more between throwing it.
It feels like it's gone quicker than the last one. That counts for a lot.
Controversial.
Yeah, I actually must agree there. It feels quicker because it's much more varied to look at.
Yeah.
I'll grant you that.
We don't have to suffer through it, so...
The first time I played this boss, I couldn't figure it out. So I just ran around in circles for like half an hour. Boss couldn't kill me, I couldn't kill it, nothing was happening. It's really, really bad. And it's dead.
Oh yeah. I found another nomination for worst boss. The final boss in Perfect Dark for Nintendo 64. If you're colorblind. You remember the final boss? Yeah, where you have to shoot at the shield until it changes color.
Yep.
Me and my 4 brothers are all colorblind. We did not know it changed color. That made the boss unkillable. Yeah, that sucked until I actually found out what you were supposed to do. Because, yeah, I spent a lot of hours before I could get back to school. I reached the boss like on a Friday evening, I remember, and then spent the entire weekend trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. And then on Monday, I skipped the first class at school to go into the computer room to look it up on Game Revolution. I was mad. Real mad.
Devil May Cry 2 also has a worse boss, but that's primarily only if you play it on Dante Must Die mode, and no one would do that. But it is a fish that is invisible and deals 1 million damage and has 1 million health.
Gonna be honest, I wouldn't willingly play Devil May Cry 2, full stop.
I feel like bosses that are only bullshit in difficulty modes are not as bad because if you're able to change the difficulty mode. Because at least, you can finish them. It didn't matter if you were playing an agent in Perfect Dark. If you're colorblind, you were fucked.
Yeah, that's why I don't really count the Devil May Cry 2 one, even though it is bad on regular difficulty.
See, I never played Perfect Dark much as a kid, because, like, I was in the one area where the N64 reigned supreme instead of the PS1, and I was the only kid I knew with a PS1, so that was weird.
But couldn't you play it at other people's place?
Yeah, but they were basically playing it non-stop, and I only ever played it at weekends, so that and GoldenEye were just miserable experiences for me.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can understand that. That's what I had brothers for.
I played a lot of Perfect Dark, but I was terrible at the single player, so I never got to the final boss.
I was never allowed to play as the bad guys in the counter-operative mode. The mode where one takes the place of the enemy, or the enemies. As soon as you die, you jump into a new enemy, but you have like no health because you have the same stats as the enemies, but you still have a lot of bodies and bullets. So I was never allowed to play as the enemy there because it was like, yeah, the agent got 1 life, I got 5 dozen. So yeah.
Yeah, the only game I can think of that's tried anything like that in recent years was the Left 4 Dead games in multiplayer.
Yeah.
It's a shame because it's a good idea, but they had to balance it by basically if you died, then you had to wait like 40 seconds to respawn, which was bullshit.
Yeah, they should have let you play as a normal zombie during the respawn. And I still don't understand why they didn't do it for Left 4 Dead 2, because it was a common complaint. Yeah, the problem with a lot of those opposing force multiplayer modes is that everyone wants to be the have the asynchronous multiplayer, you know, where like what was it called? Evo Online? Oh, no, not Evo Online, but you know, Evolve. Yeah, that's it. They make it so you don't want to play anything but a monster. While in Left 4 Dead, yeah, it's fun to play as the survivors as well. I mean, fun to play the monsters too, but I mean, it wasn't. Nothing felt like a chore there. But in many of those, like that, what is it, Friday 13th? Same.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a neat idea, but why would you ever want to play as victim? I don't know. I haven't played it because of that reason. I don't enjoy those games because you only want to play as the monster.
The victims are. The idea is that the victims are faster and more maneuverable, whereas Jason, being, you know, like a brick wall of a character, just, you know, has to gently saunter from place to place. So it's speed versus durability. But then you get to the fact that they had to patch out quite a lot of exploits because the victims were just ridiculously good at taking Jason down with a few simple exploits.
Alien vs Predator, those games 1 and 2, they were good asynchronous multiplayer games.
Never got to play them back in the heyday, which is a disappointment of mine.
Yeah, especially the second one, the multiplayer there was really, really good. And I loved playing as the Colonials. That was my favorite. I was really, really bad at the Xenos and okay at the Predators, but yeah, give me a minigun. And it was one of those games where they let you tap the fire button to always keep the minigun spun up, and people didn't realize you were doing that. So, oh yeah, he's when you fired it and were out of ammo, it made the same sound, just spinning. So people thought I was running around with trying to fire an empty gun, and then I immediately mow them down because I avoided the spin-up period by quickly tapping it, and that was fun. Really, really fun, to be quite honest. Nobody ever saw it coming because usually the schmucks play the humans because people didn't find them as fun.
Well, I mean, if you've got the choice between a Colonial Marine and a Predator, what are you going to pick?
The one with the
minigun.
minigun.
Not the squishy human.
The one with the minigun. Yeah, you're invisible, but if the air is bullets, it doesn't matter if you're invisible.
I haven't been fighting the enemies this whole map. I've been attacking the building. And we are a couple seconds away from seeing why I have been wasting everyone's time.
Yeah, I must say, City seem more alive, feels less than cardboard boxes like the recent Godzilla game.
Not played any of the Godzilla games.
There was a recent one a couple of years ago. Recent may be a strong word. My perspective of time is pretty bad. But
no, I remember it came out around about the same time as the first Godzilla reboot.
Wait, first back in '98?
No, they did another one back in about.
So it's not the first.
12, I think. Well, I consider it a reboot of those ones, or that one, I should say.
But the '98 one is a reboot of the older. First is a strong word, apparently.
It's Hollywood. It's modern entertainment. Like, who cares if there were like 7 films or games with the same name? We're doing this one, and it's a new thing.
Yeah, I'm still mad that nobody has remade Darklands. It's the only game I've ever wanted to have remade, and they still haven't. And it's a bullshit.
Which one was that again?
It's an old Microsoft game from '92, I think. It's an open-world role-playing game where you walk around in 13th century Holy Roman Empire. And what they believed in then is in the game. So, they believed in witches. Sorry. So, witches are there, and there's dwarves in the. They're not common, the supernatural stuff. But there's rumors of it, and the most dangerous stuff is like robber barons and satanic cults. And if you follow Josh Sawyer on Twitter, he's currently doing a let's play on his Twitch channel of it. If you want to see how it is, it's unique. But when it was released, it was only for MS-DOS first of all, and it was really, really buggy, and you didn't really get away with that back in the day.
It kind of reminds me of a few games like Tyranny, by the sounds of it. Except that's more obviously fantastical.
Yeah, and recent.
Yeah. There was another one as well, which is like there's virtually no combat in it, and all the boss encounters, quote unquote, are text battles. Can't remember what it is I'm thinking of though.
Disco Elysium?
No, it's set in a kind of medieval setting, if I remember right.
No, but the Darklands is. It also had a really interesting character generator because you could you spent years in getting skills. I mean, your character got older by getting more skills. You can make a really old starting character, but he or she is going to be old, so they have a lot of weaknesses in that. And time will pass and people will die of old age. It's a part of the game. And you had institutions like the Hansa, trading companies to deal with. And it's hard to really to explain why it's so good. And I played it just like a year ago, so it's not just nostalgia. But it's really not friendly for anything post MS-DOS.
Aliens are back for some reason.
Yeah, they flew out of the ground.
Aliens just really like Atlantic City.
Is that what it is?
Does AC have a volcano that I wasn't aware of?
That's the Coca-Cola plant.
Care. I have no idea.
I grew up in New Jersey, and that is news to me.
See, I think that's Coke Red. I don't know what cola's. No, Code Red isn't that Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't really have Mountain Dew here. It exists, but not common.
It's fairly common over here, but we don't get any of those hoity-toity fancy flavors like Baja Blast or Code Red.
Only the thing I recognize Code Red is from Last Week Tonight when John Oliver makes fun of it.
I always think of Zombieland, because at the start that's what the main character's drinking.
Mountain Dew is sold out here in Apocalypse America. That's where our priorities stand.
Is it any different from not Apocalypse America?
I mean, you used to be able to get Mountain Dew. That's about the only difference.
I must say that you calling it Apocalypse America is rather optimistic of you. It's pre-apocalypse.
Ongoing. Less an apocalypse, more an ongoing concern.
Yeah, I mean, considering what's getting started up and things open up already, you are to say there's an apocalypse now before this entire second wave is going to hit. It's very optimistic, to be quite honest.
I think they've just taken the frankly revolutionary approach to the trolley problem of asking the trolley what it thinks. And that turns out that, yes, I want to run over everyone is a valid choice.
I would rather say that they're solving the trolley problem by fueling the trolley with the passengers.
Yeah. Turns out the trolley was the important thing all the time.
Yeah. Let's do a sweet jump over these people on the line and see if we land. Or land on the line and past the people.
And then they remember multi-track drifting is a thing, and just turns into a blender.
Yeah, we just passed a little bit over 3,000 today or yesterday here. So we're better off, but yeah, far too many are dying here as well.
UK is the highest death toll in Europe and second highest in the world. America, we're coming for you.
I don't know.
You'd have to like have your entire population die to catch up to us, just proportionally.
Yeah, I think per capita we're coming up there. We're getting up there.
Yeah, same here. Same here. We're like 3 of the top countries when it comes to per capita.
Hooray!
You know, we're number 2, so that just means we're gonna have to try harder to get our population murdered.
I believe in you.
Let's see here. I'm actually checking death per million here. UK is in position 4, Sweden in position 7, and US in position 9.
Sweden, you gotta get them numbers up.
We're past US, so yeah, but it's deaths per million, and Sweden actually is so high because it's mostly old people in homes dying, which, to be quite honest, is a very limited resource. So give us time, we'll get better. Well, some of us. Belgium is the worst in the world. Also worse in the world when it comes to death per million.
And as for the Belgians, well...
The Belgians are the Danes of Central Europe.
There we go.
That is a sick burn for a very specific audience.
Okay, if we put this as how many countries that are neighboring Denmark or even close to Denmark actually enjoy them? There's none. Everyone dislikes the Danes. Even the Danes.
We don't even like Dane Cook around here.
The Krav Maga of comedy.
This is the only level whose name I can remember. It's Tsunopolis, because you can cause a tsunami to hit the city. Based on Tokyo. Stay classy, Incognito.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what is Japan famous for other than giant robots? Natural disasters. Yeah, let's go with that.
And the lizard.
Earthquakes.
Okay, do you want them to put in like Yuri in this instead?
But in what, sorry?
Okay, yeah, do you want them to put in cartoon porn instead of tsunamis? Or tsunamis of cartoon porn?
The streams have crossed, it's time to duck out. I mean, this is the internet, it exists out there somewhere.
Oh yeah, that's something. I'm more interested if it exists as a mod for this game.
Instead of a tsunami, it's just a giant wave of big anime titty.
He's going back to his home planet.
Nope, Mecha Sweet Tooth died.
You can die. Falling buildings are an instant kill. If you get caught underneath. That's what somehow killed both of the enemy robots there.
So they had no Godzilla in Japan.
Godzilla is Togera. He was in the fake Las Vegas level.
They should have had like a huge scorpion or something in Las Vegas and put the goddamn Godzilla in the goddamn Tokyo.
Yeah, probably.
Or fake Tokyo.
Or like Godzilla and the robot. That would have made sense.
Okay, that's actually a bit of interesting alien design. I thought it would just be, you know, when I saw the heads, just be regular grays, but hey, they do something different with it.
Yep. Kind of Mars Attack style, but
Part
with...
mutant ant. Part mutant ant, part octopus. Still with the fresh scent of pine.
Yep. Kang and or Kodos.
I'm voting third party then, number 3 there.
Go ahead, throw your vote away.
Would that be Cospero or... Yeah, it's kind of depressing when the most interesting option in the US election is Jesse Ventura. That's really depressing.
Yeah, but Jesse Ventura's hilarious.
Yeah, but he's an anti-vaxxer.
No one's perfect.
Yeah, but it's just that's one of the things that yeah, it's hilarious until you realize how many people buy that shit. And that's it's a Trump effect in basically. It would be hilarious if he actually weren't the president.
I'm fairly certain though that Jesse Ventura, when he was a state governor, spent most of his time out of his gourd, just constantly stoned.
As a man, it's a Trump. I mean, there's been numerous reports of his drug abuse from the White House, so I would not say that it's unlikely.
Yeah, the definite signs of meth abuse.
Yeah.
Or at least heavy cocaine use.
Amphetamines.
But, you know, he doesn't drink, so that makes him a good Christian.
I never understood why games like this need a space map. I mean, if they're going for the design-wise, they're going for the, you know, monster movie setting. I'm not that well versed, mind you, with monster movies, but how often do they fight in space?
It must have happened.
Fairly often.
Yeah.
I can think of This Island Earth right off the top of my head. Quite a few, like the old 50s and 40s horror movies where, like in the desert for obvious reasons, but there were quite a few that took place on spaceships or on other planets.
Okay, alright. As I mentioned, not that well versed. It's just not a stereotype or what you want to call it that I was that I knew about. And they are reusing at least some of the name on the movie posters, I just noticed.
Yeah.
Oh, are they gonna cut it off like they do it? Oh.
Which makes sense. I mean, Tor Johnson was in 750,000 movies in the 50s, so...
Bela Lugosi as well.
Yep.
I thought they would do the Futurama joke of when the Zoidberg's race invaded, they cut off the top of the monument. Because it's a Jewish race. Zoidberg is the best character ever.
He should have been in this. Why not Zoidberg?
They should have their moving oppression. What's it called? Oppression Fortress.
Yes.
Might be actually that episode came after this.
Futurama was...
99. It started
yeah.
in 99.
Yeah.
And I think that's a season 4 episode.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, so they probably, even if they saw it, they probably wouldn't have time to put it in the game.
Yeah, what do you think this is, George Broussard? I saw a new game. Let's completely set back the development of this one for another 8 months.
Considering when was Twisted Metal 12 supposed to be released?
2010, I think.
Supposed to be a launch game, wasn't it?
It was in development for a very long time.
Yeah, so I think we should. They would not be ones to throw stones.
Not when they could throw cars.
I like the design of this this mall. They should make the mall a battle arena.
It's a shame that there's basically no way to avoid getting hit by the laser.
Yeah, this is kind of the worst of the last 2 boss battles. Unavoidable, super damaging attacks, and long periods of invulnerability. And that part's over.
Oh, thank God.
Yep.
You are going to end the video after this fight, right? Because I just noticed how much health was left of there. It feels like this is the rest of the video, boss.
That is an accurate assessment.
Kind of reminds me of the end of Metal Slug 3, where the last stage takes up the entire second half of the game, but that was exciting and fun.
I was more surprised that it's like, in the cutscene, they skipped like 2 phases. He has jumped out of the first part, and they just dropped more parts. They could have put in an extra phase in there.
Yeah, could have taken off each arm individually, and then the legs.
And the saucer part that was still around. We had a small bit of the saucer left to keep it hovering. I mean, to give some variation instead of being this for the rest of the battle. I don't know if it is this for the rest of the battle, but it seems more like it.
Yeah, they could have milked it more. This part is also all about hitting it with one specific thing over and over again. Much like the rock from the robot fight.
Yeah, marble instead of rock.
Yep.
And thus the evil space brain was defeated. The end, no more. Ah, god damn it.
Sneeze on him. Come on, do it.
Don't think Rock Dude has a nose.
Yeah, that's true. If only he had human diseases, then this fight would be over.
I really hope you're just being obtuse and not acknowledging the reference.
No idea what you mean. I've never seen War of the Worlds.
I'm getting a bit worried. Yeah.
I actually haven't, but I know the reference.
I haven't seen the... No, I've only listened to the radio thingy.
Ah.
And the Futurama version.
Also, really disappointed you can't grab the capsule by its legs and start swinging it around your head like a flail.
Yeah, do the helicopter.
Yeah. That's a real missed opportunity there.
It feels more and more that this studio has been like that since Twisted Metal Black. Missed opportunities.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Their visionary developers are kind of preoccupied with other projects by now. So, like this boss, you could just combo him forever.
Also, why did do the Skyline have those, Hollywood spotlight thingies every here and there? You can see it there in the back.
Okay, now we fight his medulla oblongata. Oh, for fuck's sake, I was kidding!
Nope, he escaped. Sequel hook.
Jesus Christ, I hate being right sometimes.
You want to quit? Yes, please.
End!
Instead of endings in this game, you get origins.
Okay.
Had I done this as a Let's Play, I would have just played these at the beginning of each video, because it's really anticlimactic to have this at the end.
Sacrificial altars really don't like Baja Blast, it seems.
And I really liked that he was stuck to the foot and just not, squished to the ground, but he followed. That's good the design choice.
I choose to believe the entire game...
I think the presentation of this game in general is just really good.
Choose to believe this entire game, that dude was stuck in the bottom of his foot like a piece of gum. Makes it so much better. Especially when you're busy jumping up and down to destroy all the buildings.
And then you need to grab a branch and scrape it off the foot. And once again I come back to Futurama when Bender is using Bender should also have been in this game.
No, the entire time he's still alive and screaming. He's just like, God, why? When will this torment end? Ow, ow, ow.
That was a fast special thanks. This is a really small studio, it feels like.
These credits have quite a ways to go. David Jaffe's sole credit is original concept. He just showed up one day and said, "What if Twisted Metal was monsters?" and then walked away.
No, he skateboarded in, did a sick flip, and then said, "What if Twisted Metal but monsters?"
Also, can someone look into this head injury I got?
I'm gonna go off and do Jägermeister shots off a model. And they did another kickflip into a wall.
Okay, you can see here a little bit how they keep the credits so short by music, that studio, sound effect, that studio, with no more information.
Yeah. People weren't too desperate to get their name in this credits.
You think it was Megan Murdoch who did the vocals who was responsible for that really annoying laugh that played every 3 seconds?
Oh yeah, you noticed that. Yeah, that's there's no controlling that. The Sweet Tooth skin just does that forever. Can't stop it. The dragon also will randomly shriek with a dragon roar. And it's also pretty annoying.
Wow, this game just actively antagonizes you at every turn.
Yep. It's too bad because the presentation was really good. There's a lot that's really good about this game, but it all went to waste.
Yeah, the menu looked really nice. Which, I know, damning with faint praise, but I liked how they designed the menu.
Parts of it did not suck. The end, no moral.
Beautiful menus.
It's still better than Twisted Metal 12. Okay, maybe not. I haven't played it, but...
Yep. That's that. That's what a playthrough of War of the Monsters is like. If you practice it quite a bit, like I had to do, to make this even as watchable as it was. Hope you enjoyed your vacation into Monster World.
Yay.